The venom in Officer Victor Thorne's voice shattered the quiet calm of Sycamore Heights Gardens. Keep your filthy kids away from decent families before they cause problems. Evelyn Reed, a black woman with a composed yet unyielding presence, sat watching her 8-year-old daughter, Maya, climb the playground structure. The nearby parents froze. Conversations died. The air went sharp. Evelyn rose slowly, her calmness deliberate, every movement controlled. "Excuse me, officer," she said evenly. "What exactly seems to be the problem?" Thorne sneered, stepping closer. "The problem, ma'am, is people like you thinking you belong in places meant for families who respect order. Pack up your kid and move along before this escalates." "People like you?" The word struck like a trigger. "And what exactly do you mean by that, officer?" she asked, her tone steady but edged. The slap came so suddenly that even the birds went silent. His open palm cracked against her cheek. Parents gasped. Children screamed. Phones came out. Maya dropped from the climbing frame, sobbing as she ran toward her mother. Evelyn didn't cry. She lifted her hand, touching the sting on her swelling cheek, then spoke with quiet precision. "Officer Victor Thorne, badge number 9195. Her voice carried across the playground. He didn't know she was a federal agent. Special Agent Evelyn Reed, Civil Rights Division, U.S. Department of Justice, was embedded in this community to expose his pattern of racial harassment. 3 hours earlier, she'd been in her temporary apartment reviewing surveillance files gathered over 3 weeks. Her assignment: document the systematic targeting of Black and Latino families by local police, especially Thorne and his partner. Complaints had piled up. Families driven from parks and pools, teenagers stopped for no reason, parents humiliated. The department had ignored it all. Evelyn had built her cover carefully. A single mother working remotely who took her daughter to the same park every day. Perfect visibility, perfect access. Earlier that morning, her phone buzzed with a message from Deputy Director Liam Vance. Status update. Evidence confirmed. Evelyn typed. Confirmed. Repeated violations. Continuing operation for final proof. Vance replied instantly. Maintain cover. We need it airtight. Evelyn had glanced at Maya, who was practicing soccer kicks across the small apartment floor. "Mama, can we get ice cream after the park today?" Maya asked. Evelyn smiled. "Of course, baby. Same bench, same route." That bench had been her silent command post for weeks. She had footage, Thorne berating the Gonzalez family for being too loud, forcing the Miller teenagers to show ID while playing basketball, questioning Mr. Jackson, a single father, about whether he was fit to supervise his child. Each case followed the same script. Racial profiling disguised as order enforcement. Yesterday, Vance had warned her. Thorne's becoming volatile. If he crosses the line, be ready. She had been ready. Her wristband camera and pin-clip microphone streamed directly to encrypted federal storage. Still, the weight of risk pressed on her. The danger of being both a black woman and an officer undercover, challenging a man who saw neither her authority nor her humanity. That afternoon, the trap had sprung. The moment Thorne struck her, her mission had reached its climax. Every second, his words, his violence, was recorded with federal precision. "Officer Victor Thorne, badge 9195, she repeated, loud enough for everyone to hear. "You have just committed aggravated assault against a federal agent in the line of duty in front of witnesses." Maya clung to her, crying. Evelyn held her close, subtly adjusting her wrist to ensure the recording angle stayed steady. Thorne laughed, his arrogance blinding him. "Assault? That was nothing. You people always make drama out of discipline." His partner, Officer Jensen, stood pale near the patrol car. He had seen Evelyn's demeanor change, the cold professionalism of someone who knew the law better than he did. She turned toward him. "Officer Jensen, this incident has been recorded and witnessed. You are now a material witness to a federal crime." He hesitated, hand trembling over his radio. He knew the consequences. Federal crime. Thorne just smirked, shaking his head. "Report it wherever you want. Nobody cares what people like you say." He strutted off, unaware that the damage was already irreversible. Within 2 hours, multiple videos, hers and those from bystanders, flooded social media. One witness, Gloria Chun, uploaded her clip to a community page. He slapped her. The cops slapped a black mother in front of her child. "Watch this." By nightfall, the footage had been shared thousands of times, reaching journalists and activists. The department released no statement. Thorne remained silent, unaware that his badge number was trending nationwide. Evelyn sat in her car that evening, the faint bruise on her cheek darkening under the dashboard light. Maya slept in the back seat, clutching her small toy rabbit. Evelyn sent one final message to Vance. Evidence secured. Public distribution unavoidable. The reply came minutes later. Understood. Operation complete. Return to base when safe. Evelyn didn't start the engine right away. She looked at her daughter's sleeping face, at the innocence threatened by the world she was sworn to change. Her cheeks still throbbed, but beneath the pain was something steadier. Vindication, purpose. The system that had allowed Thorne to act with impunity was about to face exposure. She knew this wasn't an ending. The department would retaliate, the community would divide, the headlines would twist her story. And somewhere in the city, other officers just like Thorne would be watching, calculating their next move. Evelyn exhaled slowly, barely audible. Almost over, she whispered, though she knew it wasn't. The recording devices continued their quiet, ceaseless blinking, red lights pulsing like tiny heartbeats in the dark, capturing every truth that still needed to be told. The viral velocity was instantaneous. Hashtag Justice for Evelyn trended within the hour. Community organizers used the momentum to post the 19 complaints they had unsuccessfully filed against Thorne, creating an undeniable timeline of systematic abuse. By dawn, the news had reached the highest levels of the Metropolitan Police Department. The video was irrefutable, but the final, most devastating blow came when Deputy Director Vance officially contacted Police Commissioner Samuel Riggs. Commissioner, this is Deputy Director Vance from the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division. I'm calling to inform you that the civilian your officer assaulted yesterday, Agent Evelyn Reed, is a sworn federal agent, and she was on assignment documenting your officer's systematic civil rights violations. The federal prosecution was swift. Thorne was arrested at his home, the video of his assault playing on every national news channel. Evelyn's surveillance files, 19 separate incidents, witness statements, audio recordings, and the final irrefutable evidence of the assault guaranteed a conviction. The civil rights lawsuit that followed, filed by the ACLU on behalf of the 19 targeted families, transformed the individual assault into a comprehensive class action against the Metropolitan Police Department for institutional failure. 6 months later, Officer Victor Thorne was sentenced to 18 months in federal prison for his crimes, permanently banned from law enforcement. The conviction triggered a federal consent decree over the entire Metropolitan Police Department, mandating sweeping reforms, external civilian oversight, mandatory 40-hour annual civil rights training for every officer, and a completely restructured, transparent complaint system. 1 year later, Evelyn Reed returned to Sycamore Heights Gardens. Maya, now confident and laughing, played on the swings. Evelyn sat on the same bench, watching a new patrol officer, a black woman who smiled and exchanged greetings with the families, circulate the grounds. The system had failed for years, but the courageous action of one black woman, a mother and a federal agent, refusing to be silenced, had forced a change that protected an entire community for generations to come.